Hey Jim, Andy Taylor here, Senior Project Manager with Red Rock Roofing. I'm here at your home at 1715 North Parkdale Circle here in Erie, Colorado, and I'm going to do a quick inspection video for the roof. Bear with me briefly while I make my way up the ladder. So the first thing that I notice in getting up to the room is going to be the lack of drip edge flashing around the perimeter here. So drip edge by code is a 2x2 inch L-shaped metal flange. They would go 2 inches here over the fascia and then 2 inches back into the shingle. And simply what that does is encapsulates all the eaves and rakes of the home, protects you from wind-driven rain, ice damming runoff, and ultimately water migration. So next thing I want to point out is going to be the granules and the sand-like material that's in the gutter system. This is usually going to tell the age and wear and tear of the roof. Now, right away in getting on the roof, you can see there are a lot of spots where you're missing 40% of your granules. Now what happens when that starts happening is you start getting fiberglass that shows through, and that will eventually start wicking water into the system. Now this is what they call a California valley, where the shingles actually all meet down correctly and then the shingle comes to the edge. It's a California valley. But what I really wanted to do was kind of detail in how you're seeing this is 60% of your granules that are gone. In this area, this is 60% as well, and just a whole bunch of them. As I go up the roof, you can see that there is a lot of missing granules up here, and that's typical wear and tear. This is definitely the original roof. You've also got what's called manufacturer defect, where you can see a whole shingle like this is missing its granules down at the bottom on that. That's a manufacturer defect. So a long while ago when this thing was under warranty, that would have probably been covered by the manufacturer, which I believe this is an Owens Corning driftwood color. At one point in time, this boot jack was changed. It's never been painted and only has one nail on this. So when you see something like this on a roof, you know that it's definitely time to get the roof changed. Now, first thing an adjuster will be looking for when getting onto your roof to do a claim for insurance is called collateral damage. Collateral damage to you and I is simply signs and indicators that there has been a storm in the area. As you can see on there, the indentations on that soft metal. Now, once they see that, the next thing you're looking for is called spalding. Spalding is simply when hail strikes the shingle, actually dislodges the granules, and then exposes the fiberglass undermatting. And that's what these marks that I am pointing at here look like. Now, the problem that we have here is that there's so much granule loss across the roof here that it's going to be hard to dictate what is hail. Now, obviously, we get a 2-inch, 3-inch hailstorm that's in here, and this thing is going to definitely look blacker in spots. So you could see a lot of the granule loss and the manufacturer defect that's up here. In my professional opinion, I do believe that this roof does need a replacement. It's not much longer before this starts to pull water into the system, and you can potentially get, interior damage, sometimes thousands of dollars of unforeseen costs. So we just really want you to know what it looks like. Now, this is obviously the south-facing slope that faces towards the sun. And then you get over here to the north-facing slope, and there's not nearly as much granule loss. I mean, there is definitely still some that's up here and whatnot. What's really telling is that every step that I take, you can actually hear how crispy underfoot it is. Now, that has a lot to do with ventilation. Now, with that, and speaking in ventilation, this roof has zero ventilation. There are no turtle vents anywhere across this ridge, whatnot. But you can see your neighbors, they've got 8 of them just on this one slope. So they're actually really ventilated when you have 0. So this roof is definitely a great candidate for what's called a ridge vent. Ridge vent would go all the way across and create what's called a convection. So air coming in from the bottom and exiting out the very top. It would actually create a suction pulling that air out with a ridge vent. Again, the repair up front I'm going to show in just a second. The boot jacks are still shedding water, and that's always good to see. Some of these boot jacks, again, they've got one nail in them. And then these nails that are over the shingles were a bad spot to put them. I'm going to go and address the repair that you have up front. Bear with me quickly. So as you can see, all of these, there's so much granule loss in this area here. Now, this is where obviously the shingles are bad, right where the gutter is. This should be what's called a modified bitumen. This is kind of a flat section. This is under a 2-pitch that's here. So it should definitely have a rolled roofing here that allows for any ponding and whatnot that happens in something like this to really drain down. And then your repair is going to be right here on the very edge. Now, considering that it's at the very edge, it's not doing much other than I can see fiberglass that's showing here and the granules that are coming off of that just very easily. So you could totally change a few of these shingles here, but I think it would be better addressed if you were end up doing the roof. So Andy Taylor, Red Rock Roofing, I very much appreciate the opportunity to get out here, bring up to speed. I'm gonna go ahead and sign off and apologize for a long video.